They're not part of the system. They're the ones in control. While most trade time for money, they move pieces behind the scenes. They don't play the same game. They own the board. This is how the socialites stay rich. These are the secrets you were never meant to find out. Ever wonder why schools don't teach financial freedom? It's not an accident. While schools existed centuries ago, they were often limited to the elite. However, when the Industrial Revolution arrived, with its demand for a literate and skilled workforce, spurred the growth and development of public education, built to train obedient workers, not free thinkers. Imagine having to constantly work day and night, never getting to see the sun, only to get a paycheck good enough to put food on the table while the wealthy are sitting at home comfortably, thinking of what to buy next, where to go next. The rich are focused on accumulating assets like real estate, stocks, businesses, things that generate cash flow because they like to make money as they sleep. But this is not enough, so they teach their kids about property, dividends, private equity, each one another stream, building their quiet empire. While some might have a $200,000 salary, feeling and thinking that things aren't so bad. Truth is, they spent most of their lives at work. In the meantime, socialites are travelling, some of them right now in the plane sleeping, while money are still coming in every minute. The socialite making a $50,000 monthly income from assets is actually wealthier. The latter can stop working. The former can't afford to. The world calls it passive income, but the rich calls it Tuesday. The game was rigged from the start. We've all heard the phrase "born with a silver spoon" before, but how does that silver spoon keep shining generation after generation? The answer? Trust funds. These are legal structures that allow the wealthy to pass down wealth to their children, often with massive tax benefits and rules attached so it can't be squandered. It moves through time, untouched by inflation, untouched by chaos. Some families haven't worked for generations, yet their wealth grows every year. The Rothschilds, for example, are said to control influence across global banking, but their real power comes from privacy. Their family office isn't public, and their wealth is scattered in untraceable ways. In fact, the Rockefellers still live off a trust fund established over 100 years ago. While we hope our kids inherit savings, these elites inherit systems. Because real power isn't loud, it's built into the DNA of legacy. You won't find this in textbooks, but it's happening right now. Why do billionaires pay less tax than you? Because they helped write the rules. Offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands, tax loopholes buried in 600-page laws, and complex shell companies registered in places like Luxembourg or Panama. You think it's illegal? It's not. It's legal because they lobbied for it. And remember the Panama Papers? That was just the tip of the iceberg. While the public files W-2s and hopes for a refund, the elites move capital like a chess master, invisible, precise. They don't avoid taxes, in fact, they optimize them, legally, strategically. Warren Buffett famously said he pays a lower tax rate than his secretary. It's not magic, it's knowledge, and most of us were never taught the rules. Here's a secret: some of the world's wealth isn't even on the books. Imagine multi-million-dollar paintings hanging in vaults, watches being traded like stocks, and handbags, yes, handbags, are quietly flipped for six-figure profits. To us, luxury items are splurges, but not them. They call it strategic investments. A limited edition Hermes Birkin bag can outperform the S&P 500. A rare Patek Philippe Nautilus can double in value overnight. That sounds just as ridiculous as Bitcoin. These aren't just status symbols. They're appreciating assets in disguise. Elegant, silent, powerful. It's the underground economy of the ultra-rich, where luxury isn't about spending, it's about hiding value, and the public, distracted by flexes on Instagram, while the elite quietly stack invisible assets. So next time you come across a news headline of an art piece auctioning for millions of dollars, you now know it's not some absurd complexity of today's world. but you're witnessing firsthand how the rich move their money.
Years in the making,
while the public
as the
sees
anonymous
luxury,
artist built a
the
shredder into
prestige
the frame,
sees liquidity.
and wait,
We're taught debt is bad. Credit cards, student loans, a trap. But not the rich. They love debt because they use it differently. As the best-selling book Rich Dad, Poor Dad advocates, financial intelligence is a life changer, literally. These socialites borrow millions at low interest rates, then invest it in things that yield far more. If inflation rises, their debt becomes cheaper. They don't spend their own money, they multiply it using someone else's. Think of real estate developers. They rarely buy land with cash. They leverage other people's money, minimize their risk, package a good deal for everyone, and multiply their returns. While most average Joes drown in bad debt, socialites float above it because they control the terms, the leverage, the risk. It's the tool, a financial alchemy, and most never realize it. If that's not enough, socialites are in the rooms that others don't know exist. Deals never listed, opportunities never marketed, wealth never televised. Getting the call before the launch, the invite before the announcement. They're not lucky, but because access is currency, and they have it. Socialites love being early. To break it down for you, when we talk about the wealthiest people in the world, don't use public apps. They invest through private placement deals, invite-only hedge funds, and secretive vehicles you need $10 million plus to even hear about. Otherwise, forget about it. You know you're not considered same level. Some of these opportunities are so protected, they aren't even legally allowed to be marketed. Here's another thing you probably didn't know. The best investment opportunities aren't even in your local bank. The rich get access to pre-IPO deals, private equity funds, rare startup investments, all through exclusive networks and wealth management firms. It's so true when they say your network determines your net worth. If you don't have $1 million minimum to invest, you're not even allowed in these rooms. And if you're wondering why you never hear about these, it's because you were never meant to. In the 1800s, Rothschild agents reportedly knew the outcome of the Battle of Waterloo, even before the British government did. Today, nothing's changed. The rich get access to insider analysis, private briefings, and predictive intelligence years ahead of the market. While you're watching CNBC, they're already moving billions before the news even breaks. You know they are not reacting to headlines, they are actually making them. Every move is planned with precision. In the digital age, the world follows data. The rich, they follow patterns, decades ahead. Knowledge is the ultimate currency. Coupled with having the accessibility, the rich aren't guessing where to invest. They have the entry to data, advisors, analysts, and private insight. Now, we all were taught that the true meaning of philanthropy is the desire to promote the welfare of others, expressed especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. Right? So we think. Socialites' generosity are precise. Every donation, a decision. Every foundation, a fortress. Every gala, a gathering of influence. They call it charity, but we know better. It's reputation, protection, access, and soft power. The high society don't just give, they position. Ever notice how the wealthiest people suddenly become philanthropists? Foundations give them control, protection, and access to elite circles. Behind closed doors, these organizations wield influence, funding think tanks, lobbying governments, and even steering public opinion. Why do billionaires donate billions? Sure, it helps the world, but it mostly helps them. The naive, you may think that they actually cares about the world. Charitable foundations come with tax write-offs, PR benefits, and influence. They donate shares of their companies to a foundation they still control, reduce their tax bill, and boost public goodwill. Just take the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It saved millions of lives, but also saved billions in taxes. So what's the secret? This isn't about money, it's about control, and now you have it. You're just getting started. As others fight to escape the maze, you want to be the one building the exit. What's taught in school isn't designed to make you rich. It's designed to keep you in line. But if you're watching this video, you've just stepped outside the system. The real game is hidden in plain sight. So instead of spending your whole life chasing money, consider building machines that do it for you and let the rest of the world continue to claim that they are too busy to learn. If you found this eye-opening, subscribe to Sphere of Socialites and turn on notifications, because the deeper you go, the closer you get to playing the game the right way.